This week, the US Commerce Department launched a Section 232 probe into drone imports. Components, silicon, the whole shebang, with DJI hogging over half the US market. The twist? If no formal review happens by December, DJI gets an automatic ban on new models stateside. Think of it as bureaucratic Russian roulette. The clock is ticking. DJI's future hangs by red tape. The probe, which was officially launched on July 1st but not revealed until the 14th, is focused on reviewing the supply chain that leads to the production of DJI drones, as well as other domestic electronics that rely on polysilicon. If you didn't know, China is the world's leading producer of polysilicon, with roughly 50% of the world output coming from China. One of the outcomes of this probe may be additional tariffs being levied, as this endeavor is meant to continue the trend of the Trump administration's use of Section 232, which in the past was primarily applied to steel, aluminum, car parts, and other materials. At the end of the day, it looks like the US is working towards protecting drone and solar semiconductor supply chains by using national security measures as the lever. This could be a good thing for domestic manufacturers, but probably not a great thing for consumers, who are more interested in getting the best bang for their buck. Speaking of bucks, you might be able to lift one with this next drone if you're in the drone deer recovery business. In agricultural drone news, DJI just dropped the Agras T100, sprayer by day, hay bale mule by night. It carries 100 liters of liquid, spreads 150 liters of granules, and can haul up to 100 kilograms. That's 220 pounds on a rope. 220 pounds is a lot of stuff. That's roughly 2 bales of hay, 5 jerry cans of gasoline, or 8 chainsaws and a gourmet lunch. Think of all the things you could move up and down the hill using this beast, and not have to worry about hiring a helicopter for tens of thousands of dollars a day. The helicopter pilot side of Ian hates this, but the drone nerd absolutely loves this idea. The T100 features 8 propellers, each of them with a 62-inch blade, which is bigger than the tail rotor of a Robinson helicopter and just slightly smaller than the propeller of a Cessna 172. Top speed has been bumped to 20 meters per second, or roughly 45 miles per hour. Stop and just think about that for a second. You've got a 300-ish pound drone flying along at 45 miles per hour. That's a lot of kinetic energy. Flight time with a single 41,000 milliamp hour battery is roughly 10 minutes at full payload. But considering the top speed, you can certainly travel some good distance. And once the drone is empty, flight time dramatically increases. And if you're spraying, the payload will decrease as you fly. Also launched was the DJI T70P and T25, which are smaller versions of the T100 with smaller payloads. However, all 3 of these drones feature the latest onboard sensors and software to fly as safely and as smartly as possible. Pricing for the T100 looks to be wildly different across the internet, so you will want to harass your local Agras dealer to see what the options are, and if it's actually available in your country. Hopefully not with a 30% tariff either. For example, Aris Acres lists the T100 Platinum set at as much as $120,000 US. Another site in Brazil lists the T100 at $50,000 US. However, the distance may come down to what accessories such as generators or batteries you're going to need to choose. I'd imagine that custom propane and mag wheels also jacks the price up just a little bit. Last week, Wingtra launched the Wingtra Ray, a survey-focused drone which claims to be the most cost-effective option for surveyors, with full NDAA and Blue UAS compliance badges, however at a premium price point. The fixed-wing, vertical takeoff drone also features a parachute for operations over people and has the battery endurance to cover up to 1,360 acres with a single charge. This means faster and waiver-free operations in most of the US and Canada. Photogrammetry, LiDAR, and multi-sensor payloads are swappable depending on the mission needs. The mapping camera is a 61 megapixel sensor with both wide-angle and telephoto lens options for different levels of ground sample distance. More than just hardware, Wingtra is meant to be an end-to-end platform with software for planning, ground control placement, flight, cloud processing, and sharing. Pricing, while not public, is starting somewhere in the range of multiple tens of thousands of dollars depending on the sensor payload and options you choose, such as the parachute. Today's episode is brought to you by Coastal Drone Co., your go-to resource for drone certification. Planning to pick up a new drone? Assuming you can actually find one, you're probably going to need a license to go with it. We've trained roughly 20,000 pilots for basic and advanced certificates, Part 107, and soon the Level 1 complex. We offer online and in-person training, so whether you're flying for fun or for work, we've got you covered. Visit coastaldrone.co or check the links below to take your flying to the next level. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth just dropped a cinematic new clip, reclassifying sub-$2,000 drones as consumables for battlefield operations. Biodegradable view? Nah, just cheaper munitions. Notably, no DJI gear in sight, thanks to the Buy American push. Even as a polite Canadian, I gotta ask, what military-grade drones under $2,000 are even legit? Skydio? AeroVironment? Feed me suggestions, eh? This just dropped, the DJI Mic 3 leak, all wireless, no 3.5mm jack. Great if you're filming on your phone, not so great if you're using a $3,000 DSLR and want to hide the mic. Seriously, is it now fashionable to have a giant black puck on your chest? Are you sponsored by Rode? If you don't care about fashion, I guess the Mic 3 is perfect for creators on a budget who've just had about enough with cables. Maybe not for anyone with plug-in preferences. I guess we will see just how much of a compromise this is when the new pack for the Mic 3 is officially launched on July 29th. As a long-distance commuter, Ian is really excited about eVTOL and the dream that someday his car will be waiting for him in a hover just to blast away above the millions of cars that commute along the wasteland that is the Trans-Canada Highway. If you haven't heard about the Moeller Skycar, you may not be a millennial nerd like Ian, and Alan Zhang's project seems closer to reality than the Skycar ever was. From the garage to the skies, Alan Zhang, UC Berkeley MET student, is pushing forward the Project Leland drone, now into its third prototype. Open-air cockpit, carbon fiber structure, 3D printed joints, a human carrier eVTOL built by one person. It's still a small-scale test rig, but it's shifting what student project means. Just imagine the pitch meeting. It flies. Sorta. And just today, Alan announced Zeek Aero 3 is now open source. The full CAD designs have been posted online and are free for download, so you can remix, reverse engineer, or build at your own pace. You can support Zhang's efforts via his YouTube channel or the Buy Me Coffee links down below. The aircraft will be on display at OpenSauce 2025 if you want to check it out in person. While this isn't the first eVTOL project to take to the skies, it represents to me a great push towards the democratization of transportation, and garage-based projects are always exciting to see. So that said, don't start calling Uber Air just yet, but credit where credit is due. This is the kind of passionate DIY energy that actually moves urban air mobility forward. And in our cool stuff I found online that you want to see segment, meet the Xpert Kage Power Max, an 8-prop Kage drone beast. We're talking industrial grade lift, 320mm size, and ultra quiet 65 decibel noise. It glides through the forest like a cat. Plus, it's got a gimbal that tilts 180 degrees vertically, all with crash safety built in. Hot take, if you ever wanted a drone that can crawl through a duct in a chicken coop without freaking out the locals, this is literally it. Just watch out for flying feathers. That's the week's roundup for weekly drone news. Explosive rigs, tech that hauls hay, flying car dreams, and Kage drones on point. Subscribe, drop a comment, and keep the snark coming. I live for it. Fly safe, stay witty, and we'll see you next time.